We're winding down our evening. Um, I forgot that I had mentioned this in my original recordings that were lost due to my connection going out oddly at different intervals here. I'm not going to get to tonight. I'm not going to get to my military rape video, finishing that series off, but I will. It's an important topic and it bears discussion because of what people go through as rape victims, the sickening things that we thrust upon these people and act as if that's justice or act as if there's anything that is okay with it, especially when it's happening to men. But that'll be hopefully tomorrow night. If not, it'll be during part of the week. I'm finishing up my list of things that I'm going to do before this channel ends its broadcasting run, as it were. And I leave this channel up as a chance to, what do you call it? A chance to have a life beyond me and the topics that I choose to bring up for this channel. It'll stand as its own sentinel, to stand guard, as it were, almost against society and society's ills. But speaking of society's ills, and a topic that is not going away, which is something that I'm very happy about, is another kind of march that just went on. Thousands march for gun control in Washington. Newtown residents join rally organizers. Thousands of people, many holding signs with the names of gun violence victims and messages such as "Ban assault weapons now," joined a rally for gun control on today. Marching from the Capitol to the Washington Monument, leading the crowd were marchers with "We Are Sandy Hook" signs, paying tribute to the victims of the school shootings in Newtown. Washington Mayor Vincent Gray and other city officials marched alongside them. The crowd stretched for at least 2 blocks along, along Constitution Avenue. People came as far as Alaska, organizers said. About 100 residents from Newtown traveled to Washington together, organizers said. "I wanted to make sure this never happens to my kid's school or any other school," said the woman from a nearby town. At the monument, speakers called for a ban on military-style assault weapons and high-capacity ammunition magazines, and for universal background checks on gun sales. Education Secretary Ann Dukin told the crowd that it's not about taking away gun rights guaranteed by the Second Amendment, but about gun safety and saving lives. He said he and President Obama would do everything they could to enact gun control policies. But that's not what I'm seeing. Most things are maybe closing the loop on the constitutional, on the background checks at gun shows, which absolutely is a must. But in at least the Obama's case of his executive orders, none of it banned high-capacity mags, none of it banned assault rifles, and I want to see Dianne Feinstein's bill go through, because it's exactly what she's saying is exactly what these people are saying. It's not about confiscation, it's about drying up excess supplies and about trying to make sure that people who should not have military-grade hardware, something that some in your own armies have said should not be in the hands of civilians, FYI, is not the same as confiscation. Nobody is asking for confiscation because nobody in their right mind would be that stupid enough to try to advocate for something, because it would be a bloodbath. But I'm sick of it. I've tried to defend my pro-gun ideals coming off of my life with fake guns and the fact that I might want to own at least a handgun, but I would never keep ammunition because I would never buy a handgun or any gun for self-defense. I would buy it to blow off steam. I would buy it to go to a gun range and shoot it in the safety of said gun range. I would only get ammunition either on the way to the gun range, and any extra ammunition would either be stored in the car, or I don't care about tossing it out. It's my money, it's my choice. But I would never keep ammunition around, because I don't believe that, let's say for the sake of argument that this was real. It's actually a cologne bottle that's shaped like a gun. But if this were real, I would want to show that me just having this with no ammunition whatsoever has no discernible ability to hurt anyone. And through gun safety, I would make sure there would be no bullets in the chamber, nothing in the gun that could possibly fire, so that even if I dropped it, it's not going to go off. That if I lay it on a shelf in my, let's say I have a shelf that's head length, that's head height, okay? That if I lay it on a shelf in my closet, that it's not going to somehow magically shoot me or any of my family members in the head. That said, I have defended the ownership to the nth degree because and I admit this, I was acting on emotion. I felt that this was stupid. I wasn't necessarily in it for the constitutionality, because I've never seen the Second Amendment as necessarily absolutely 100% saying that I have the right to own a gun and the right to misuse said gun, as some people actually are defending. The Second Amendment does not say that I have a right to own a gun, ammunition, and make threats at my neighbors or family members and still have the gun in my possession. At best, the Second Amendment talks about the right to bear arms and a well-regulated militia. If we are to follow the Constitution to the letter, then we have to disband our army and create a militia, or everybody has to be in a militia, in which case then we're going into Switzerland-type territory, in which case everybody has a gun, but everybody does time in service. Everybody has a weapon, and we would then just defend our borders. We would no longer be the bigger brother of the world, creating almost as much trouble as we fix by going into things. Because now I'm reading that we're going to go into Mali, or that we're looking very seriously at becoming an active force there. So it's not just enough that we're needlessly in Afghanistan. And I'm not saying Mali is a needless type of situation here, but you know what? We're stretched thin. We're stretched thin militarily. And you want to say that disbanding the army, well, if we were to entertain the idea that disbanding the army, bringing our guys home and creating a militia state where we can have our guns, we have a reason to have our guns, and we have a system in place that makes sure that if I were just to walk around shooting in the air or pointing my gun, loaded or not, at other people, just because I think it's funny, that I would lose that gun rights, that I would lose that privilege because I don't know how to use it, this tool, as it were, effectively, correctly. But I just want the ban. I don't care one way or another. Yes, there are people who have guns that make me feel a bit uneasy. But there are people who have guns who almost make me feel safe, because I know that they are responsible gun owners. I know that they have never shot anybody for as long as I have known them. Never shot themselves, never shot a family member, never shot somebody by accident. Most of them know how to take care of their guns. But the future does not need military-grade hardware on the streets, full stop. There is absolutely no justification for that, unless you want us to become a militia, in which case then, again, the law of equivalent exchange will have to take place here. We would have to give up our military branches in order to create a countrywide militia. And then myself and every other able-bodied adult, male and female, will have to serve our time, go through our gun training, and go through everything that Sweden has in order to have the kind of state that some people would want. But again, it's not my decision anymore. I am just one person. It's you, society. It's your choices as to whether we create the society where everybody gets a gun, but we have the kind of regulations that Sweden has, as well as the kind of path to gun ownership that Sweden has, or whether we have to go with something that's more aligned with Denmark. But I digress. I've already told you. Fix society, and not with moralistic, unsubstantiated bullcrap. Fix society, and then you can have as many guns as you want, because people aren't the danger that they are now. The factors that impact our society wouldn't make for those dangers that we have now. But I'm preaching to the wall here. I'm talking to deaf ears. People want their guns, and they want their screwed up society, and they won't be told otherwise about how you cannot have your cake and eat it too. But you know me, I'm a masochist.